Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, folks? OBJ the Don coming to you with what I'm actually hoping will be a quick video. Well, I want it to be a quick video. I don't want to get to start running my damn mouth like I usually do because I would like to play a little bit of, Hellblade or whatever tonight. I would like to be able to play a little bit. Uh, Hopefully, I'm already sleepy right down now. And I got to get up early to take my car to the shop again. You know what I mean? So, I'm hoping to get a little bit of playtime with Hellblade in. So I don't want to make this video too long. Figured I'd do it live to interact with y'all. What's going on with you? What's going on, Brandon Bonds? What's going on, Phil? Uh, what I wanted to do is, I got Hellblade, the day it released. Um, but I heard people having good experiences actually, using the headphones, you know what I mean? And, they said it really immerses you into the games with the crazy voices and shit, you know what I mean? So I had ordered a headset from GameStop. I had some credit, I had accumulated some credit, and I was like, I didn't really know what I was going to do with that credit, up until this time. I said I might just add to that and get the Xbox One X when it comes out, but I've already made my decision on that. And my son needed a headset again. So I gave him my Razer Man of War headset. Hopefully he doesn't, tear that up. I'll probably give him about a month until he fucks it up. You know how kids are. You know what I mean? They can't, I don't know what the hell it is with them. But the damn headset I gave him is in mint condition. And I'm pretty sure it's going to look like a goddamn Project Hallway in 2 to 3 weeks. But it is what it is. So I have been having my eye on these headsets for quite a while. And I finally went ahead, used my GameStop credit and got me these Astro A50 wireless headsets for the PS4. I've read some very good reviews on them. Never had an Astro headset. The motherfucker's expensive. You know what I mean? But I've heard some good reviews from them. And I was thinking about the Astro A40 TRs. You know what I mean? But they come with a wire. I didn't really want wires. I just, I'm pretty sure they're good headsets. But I just wanted to eliminate the wires. You know what I mean? Because I need mobility around this motherfucker. That's what I like. You know what I mean? So without further ado, I'm gonna start opening this up, and we're gonna get to it. Forgive me if I lack a little energy. Getting home from work, tired as hell. So just forgive me if I lack a bit of energy. I'm gonna try to stay off of Xbox ass tonight. Well, I may speak a little bit on it because I do want to make an announcement also. What's going on? Oh, LOL, my daughter has killed a few headsets too. Man, it's crazy, man. I'm telling you, kids these days, I mean, they just go through stuff. Now, I kind of know how it feels though, because I remember when I was little, my grandmother didn't, she didn't have the means to get me a lot. But when I used to come up here, around Maryland to DC or whatever, and stay with my aunt was the one, she had money. You know what I mean? So if I stayed with my aunt during the summer or whatever. My aunt used to buy me a toy during the day or whatever. I'd take that toy home, break it. As soon as I break it, she give me more money to go get another damn toy. That shit was good. You know what I mean? But you don't know the value of money back then. You don't know. You're not spending your own money. You're not buying your own shit. You know what I mean? So you break shit. So I understand where he's coming from, but I'm trying to teach the boy how to take care of his stuff because, you know what I mean? I'm not going to keep buying your shit. You know what I'm saying? Basically. You know, but I do want to make an announcement. Yeah, I'm live, man. I'm live. I'm trying to do this thing live. What's up, Titanic Blanky? Joe Ra. You know, but yeah. I wanted to talk about the performance versus resolution argument. You know what I mean? Basically, I got to thinking that I don't really trust Sony or Microsoft to uh, basically put performance over as a priority over resolution right now or in the future. I just don't trust them. So you have your box that slides out like so. This is the front of the box. You have your headset. You know what I mean? It's laying in this base station. The base station, from what I hear, is what charges the headset. You know what I mean? You can put an optical cable in that'll hook up to your PS4. Or you can use this also on the PC. Alright? So you got Dolby Digital, 5 gigahertz wireless, Astro Audio, whatever that is. I know there's some kind of app or whatever that you can use to as an EQ to EQ your stuff and whatever. Mod kit ready. Astro sells a separate mod kit. I believe they come with leather ear cuffs or whatever. And like it says, for the PC and PS4 on the back is basically telling you about the mod kit. And it has more pictures of the headset and the bass. And it's pretty much telling you all the technology that is involved with it. Dolby headphones, 7.1 surround sound, built-in mix amp. I know on the older versions they have the separate mix amp that you that comes with it. Says pro quality audio, you know, all that good shit. You know, I don't feel like reading all of that. But you got the side of the headphones on the side of the box. You know, people like to show the shit that's on the box, so I'm just trying to show it too. You know what I mean? That's all. Alright, this is a very nice, elegant box. Very nice, elegant box. I'm not sure what the hell this shit is that's on here. Some kind of robots or something. But the box looks very damn decent. You got an A on the side of it. You know what I mean? And it has like, I don't know if y'all can see them, but there's some kind of like robotic designs. You know what I mean? Somebody is speaking in a language in here that I do not understand. But thank you for stopping by. All right. So let's see if I can get this bad boy open. And yeah, I'll save the talking for after I basically get through this because you know what I mean, I do want to talk about a couple of things. This is the inside of the box. Once you open it, this is how it looks. Voila, magic. Voila, magic. All right. So it's very simplistic, minimalistic. Looks like all you have is straight away your headset. What's going on? What's going on, Troy Carroll? How you doing? Brandon Bonds, what's going on with you? You have your headset. I don't know whether they call this the boom mic or whatever. Let me make sure I'm turning that the right way there. I heard now the one thing I didn't hear glowing reviews of is the actual microphone for this thing. You know, it's very touch and go with the actual sound quality of the mic. They say that you can tune some of the sound quality of the mic with the app or whatever. You know what I mean? I'll stick to my Steel series. I seen that Steel series or whatever. I listened to they had a setup at a Best Buy I went to. Steel series does sound pretty good. From what I understand, when you turn this mic up that way, it mutes it, which is cool. And another interesting feature that I liked about this was, you know, say I want to go upstairs or whatever, get me some coffee or whatever, you know, chill out, take a 15-minute break or whatever. If I just lay them down, then they'll turn off. You know what I mean? I like that. And then when I'm ready to pick them back up again, they'll turn on. I do like that feature. Okay, so the headset itself, it's not too heavy, it's not too light. It feels very it feels is like a very high quality build, actually. You know what I mean? Actually more high quality than the Razer Man Awards that I had. And my particular problem with the Razer, what's going on? What's going on? Devman 73, what's going on with you? My particular problem with the Razer Man of War was that that headset seemed to be mostly made for the PC and not, you know, for the PS4. It worked with the PS4. You could party chat on the PS4, you know what I mean, with them, but you could not control anything volume wise or anything. You could not control nothing on the headset itself. Okay, so you can only go through the settings on the PS4 and turn the volume up that way. You know what I mean? It lacked the basic functionality that you needed with the PS4. It would only go to such, you know, a volume level or whatever. You know what I mean? So, but you know, it's decent enough for my son. He loves them. You know, he enjoys them, and they get the job done. Looks like you have a volume button down here, and it looks like it's a switch here for like some different type of modes. I think you might be able to switch it into PC mode or whatever. You got a power button. And I'm not sure what the hell that is at the top. I have to read about that. But overall, the headset, top of the headset says Astro A50. You know what I mean? Let me smell it. I like to smell new shit. You know what I mean? Try it on. Oh yeah. Very, 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 very comfortable feeling headsets here. Very comfortable. Very comfortable. I could see me doing some serious hours of gaming with this right here. You know what I mean? Very comfortable. I can't wait to play me some Hellblade, you know, listening to some crazy ass voices so I can go crazy. Y'all might see me in a goddamn straitjacket next time. You know what I mean? But very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Cowboy Nation, stand up, man. Look here, bruh. Look here, bruh. You might fuck around and get blocked out here, man. Ain't nothing but the Redskins around here, baby. Ain't nothing but the Redskins around here. I don't even eat steak from Texas, man. Fuck all that. Alright? Alright, so we're gonna lay these headphones right here. Yeah, I don't even eat steak from Texas, man. Alright, how the hell did I get this on? Okay. Okay, y'all know what this is. This is an optical cable. You know what I mean? Y'all know it, you know. This ain't your first rodeo. Y'all know what that is. And what the hell else we got here? You got your usual directions and shit like that. I just need to find out what that top button on here is for. That's all I need that for. I know what everything else is. Then you got your, what it looks to be a charging cable. Yeah, it looks to be a charging cable right here. You know what I mean? And then you have your base station. And this is what makes it all work. This is basically, I guess this is like, almost like the mix amp. You know what I mean? This is where the magic happens, I guess. Got this charging station right here. Sit there and you drop them in. It's like a magnet. You know what I mean? Drop them in. Bam. You know what I mean? Then they start charging. Very accessible. Very accessible, and easiness. The only wire in here is this one and this one. That's how I like it. What's going on? What's going on, Fantasy Fan 998? Oh, thanks, Charity Man. Thanks. What's going on, Charity Man? Hey, Charity Man. I came by your video the other day, man. You up there asking why people is hating on Crackdown. I think you know the answer to that, buddy. If you watch that damn footage, you know the answer to that. You know the answer to that shit. You know good and damn well you know the answer to that shit right there, okay, buddy? But that's all that's all I'm gonna say about that. We ain't gonna talk about Crackdown tonight. But yes, there you have it, folks. Those are the Astro A50 wireless PS4 headsets. Now, what I want to talk to y'all about real quick is I've been thinking lately, you know what I mean? And I know I've been procrastinating on I've said before that I will eventually build a PC, okay? I'm going to let you know that that is going to be a reality for sure. This year. I'm starting to order parts, and it's not going to happen overnight because I'm not picking a budget. You know what I mean? I don't know where the fuck I'm going to end up when I'm building this thing. You know what I mean? But I am going to wait and buy the CPU, the motherboard, and the graphics card last. You know what I mean? Just in case they throw something else out there. But I will be building a PC, and this is why. Because I do not trust Sony or Microsoft to put performance over resolution now or next gen. I don't trust it. I do not trust it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, instead of me continuing to whine about the shit, I'm going to take matters into my own hands. Okay, that's all I can do now. You know what I mean? I mean, I want them. I wish they would give us a 60 frames per second option in every game. You don't have to, you know what I mean? I don't need 4. If you want 4K 30, have the 4K 30 there. But then give us an option. Even if you had to go to goddamn 900p. I am willing to take compromises for performance. Okay? I'm willing to take compromises for performance. I know they want more graphical detail. I want graphical detail. I love graphics too. I want it all. Okay? And I understand now. I do understand now. It's like I had an epiphany. I understand. It took me a while, but I understand that if I do want it all, then I'm going to have to take matters into my own hands. Okay? Because if you look at history, nothing actually will give you the feeling that they will ever really focus on providing us with higher frame rates. Now, there are a few games on my PS4 Pro, a few developers, such as Hellblade. They have a 60 frames per second option in there. Kudos to them. Kudos to them. You had Rise of the Tomb Raider with a uncapped frame rate option. Kudos to them. You know, it didn't stay at 60 all the time. It fluctuated, but at least they thought enough, you know, to provide that for us. You know what I mean? So kudos to them. There are a few instances where you have certain developers actually putting performance first, and I do appreciate that. However, the overall outlook of Sony and Microsoft is 4K. You know what I mean? 4K resolution, higher graphic fidelity, how big and better you can make your games look. I understand. I love the graphics. I love the Big Bang. I love Uncharted. I love Horizon Zero Dawn. I love all this shit. You know what I mean? Forza Horizon 3. You know what I mean? I love it. I love it all. You know what I mean? Okay? It looks good. But I want it to run good. And then you have certain Xbox fanboys who like to spread a little propaganda. And they say that every game is going to run better on the X. Now, see, certain words, certain phrases that people use, it kind of triggers something in me, because I'm like, I can see you saying that certain games will look better on the Xbox One X, but run better. When I think about something running better, I'm thinking that, okay, so it's going to perform better. It's going to run at a higher frame rate. You know what I mean? I'm still amazed. Yeah. Well, I haven't done Hellblade. I haven't started playing Hellblade yet, but now since I got my headphones, I'm going to play it. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you're talking about something actually running better, you know what I mean? I'm thinking about frame rate. That's the only way I'm thinking something's actually going to run better. Look better, you talk about all the, you know, the 4K textures they want to talk about and all of that shit. Resolution. Cool, 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 cool. If you're satisfied with that, cool. Trust me, I'm not, even though I'm going to build this PC, I'm not going to be no elitist, some pompous asshole who says that you play on a goddamn console. You know, what is that? You know what I mean? I've been gaming on console for 35 years. Okay? Been gaming on console for 35 years. The frame rate, although I want higher frame rates, that's what I truly want. I have never let a frame rate stop me from playing the game that I wanted to play. You know what I mean? And I will never do that. Okay? Going forward, PS4, I will always need, because of why? Because of the exclusive games that I cannot play anywhere else. Okay? I will always need a PS4. Xbox, however, since their games are now on the PC, I probably won't be getting a next-gen Xbox. You know what I mean? Because I won't have any use to do so. You know what I mean? Which is cool. I'll still be giving Microsoft my money for the games that they do put out there that I want to play. You know what I mean? On the Windows Store or whatever. You know what I mean? But as far as buying the console, I won't have any use for it. But they straight up skipped over 1080p 60 and they went straight to 4K. Okay, so there's nothing to lead me to believe that next gen, you know what I mean, they're going to concentrate on giving us goddamn 60 frames, you know. They probably just going to make games bigger and better, you know what I mean, more prettier, you know what I mean. They going to up the ante on this shit and still ain't going to be able to run the damn shit at 60 frames, you know what I mean? They just going to see how much juice they can squeeze out of the damn graphics and the looks and the resolution. You see what I'm saying? And that's cool. That's cool. That's the way they want to sell their system. They think that you can sell graphics more than you can sell frame rate. And that may be true. That may be true to the overall majority. That just may be true, okay? That just may be true in a commercial, big and bad graphics. But me, I can see, like, I can actually see frame rate. I can see frame rate. I can tell frame rate. When they were doing that live, I don't know what channel that was I was watching. They were doing a live gameplay of Wolfenstein 2. Shit looked marvelous. It looked marvelous. I ain't gonna lie. It looked marvelous. I think they were playing it on PlayStation 4. It looked marvelous. You know what I mean? But I think once they got into the game action, okay, I could actually see the game was in 60 frames. I could see it was in 60 frames. I could see the fluidity. I could see 60 frames. You know what I mean? I can tell 60 frames. You know what I mean? But I can't always tell resolution over a stream, you know what I mean, over a video. I can't do it. You know what I mean? I can see that the game has good graphics, no doubt. You know what I mean? But when you actually play at a higher frame rate, you feel it as well as see it. You know what I mean? It changes the way the game is played. You know what I mean? Yeah, we have been complaining about, you know, 60 FPS for quite some time. I know I have, you know. And I'm just going to stop complaining about the damn 60 FPS because I'm going to take matters into my own hands. You know, I'm done. I'm going to take the matters into my own hands and I'm going to build me a PC. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build me a good one. Goddamn one that's capable of doing 60 frames per second at 4K. I want it capable of doing that. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to play at 4K all the time or whatever. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to be capable of it. You know what I mean? I don't want no more compromises with that. So my third party games, single player games or whatever, third party games, I will be playing on a PC, you know, exclusives on my PlayStation, you know what I mean? And whatever, if Microsoft ever decides to start making some goddamn games, I'll be playing them on the damn PC, you know what I mean? So it's just a case of me wanting to take matters into my own hands. Going to build me a 1440 rig. Yeah, I feel you. Ain't nothing wrong with that. 1440p. Everybody says that's the sweet spot. You know what I mean? I just want to make sure that I'm able to do, you know, if I want to do 4K at 60, I wanted to be able to do that shit. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Because it ain't nothing like me putting this motherfucker together and getting certain parts. And then, okay, I build it for 1440p. But then I'd be like, okay, I want to do fucking 4K. And I done already spent all this damn money. I'm like, I might as well spend it all the first time around. You know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure, yeah, 1440p at 60 is glorious. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. You know what I mean? But, yeah, that's all. That's pretty much what I wanted to get off my chest. I mean, I don't believe, I do not trust Sony or Microsoft to put, you know, frame rate as a priority over resolution. I don't trust them going forward. And hey, if they believe that that's what sells their consoles and that's what people want, and they're probably right. That's what I'm saying. They're probably fucking right. You know, most casual players don't give a fuck. They don't even know what the hell the frame rate is. Most of them don't even know what the fuck 4K is. You know what I mean? But they see explosions and, you know, those graphics over that damn commercial. I see why they're doing it. I see why Sony and Microsoft are doing it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I wish at the very least that they would put the option in, especially for these more powerful consoles, because everybody knows when we came into this generation, what the hell was we thinking? We were thinking we was going to get 1080p 60 around this bitch. That's what we thought. That's what we thought. Did we not? Okay? We figured that shit ain't going to happen. We seen that shit didn't happen. Not across the board. You had some 60 frames here, 60 frames there. You know what I mean? But we did not get what the fuck we was thinking that we was going to get coming into this generation. We just learned to accept the shit. You know what I mean? We say, oh, well, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? We still gonna play goddamn Uncharted. You know what I mean? We still gonna play Rise on the Roam. We still gonna play all of that shit. You know what I mean? That's what we gonna do. So we learn to accept it. 60 frames is the minimum games should be at. You're right. That's what I'm saying. We've been at 30 frames per second, 15, 20. We've been at this shit for decades. I mean, like, at some point, technology has to evolve. You have to evolve this shit. All the shit I have been talking about with Microsoft needing to give me games or give me new IPs or something, give me a reason to buy an Xbox One X, would have been straight up, the solution would have been simply saying, come out, mic drop. Look, all our games that's running on the Xbox One X will have a 60 frames per second option. Drop the goddamn mic. I'd be looking for a goddamn pre-order right now. That's what I'd be doing. Pre-order. That you don't need no exclusives if you got that type of advantage over the other console. If you could have done that, it would have been a wrap. I would have been pre-ordering that motherfucker. If they said every game on that bitch is going to have a 60 frames option. I would have been pre-ordered. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to pre-order for goddamn more resolution. I don't care. I mean, I don't believe that the shit's going to look too much better than what the fuck the Pro is going to. I don't see it. I don't see a $500 difference. I know I damn sure didn't see it in that E3 stream. You know what I mean? Forza Motorsport looks beautiful. You know what I mean? No doubt about that. It looks dope. But it's Forza. You know what I mean? And other than that, you know what I mean? There's nothing that screams $500 over there. Not the games they showed. No. You know what I mean? And I can play those same games on my Xbox One S, which I do not turn on. I did not want to make this about no goddamn Xbox, but whew. I need some shit to change with the goddamn Xbox thing. You know what I mean? But if they had actually came with, I I hear you are enjoying Splatoon 2. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Now, I haven't been on in the last couple of days or so, but I'm gonna get back on that. You know what I mean? Most definitely. You know what I mean? But yeah, the Xbox, if they had actually prioritized frame rate or put a better CPU, that's what they should have done. When people were suggesting that this bitch was gonna cost $600 or $700 or whatever, I mean, I don't. That shit would have been, crazy. But at the same time, if you had actually put the shit in there, I think, people would have bought the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? If you had actually put the shit in there worth $600 or whatever, you know what I mean? A better CPU that could get you 60 frames, you know what I'm saying? Without no prop. But I mean, just the pure resolution thing or these 4K textures that everybody talk about, I mean, that just doesn't seem like it's going to make too much of a difference to me. I mean, I'm not going out there to spend that shit. I done bought too many goddamn consoles to gen. I'm not doing it. My next console will be a next gen one, and it's going to probably be the PS4, because I'll be able to play whatever Xbox games on the PC that I'm going to build. That's how that's going to go. Now, I want to tell y'all to, yeah, but Ryzen, you're right. And I'll probably end up going with a Ryzen CPU, matter of fact. They just knew Ryzen and goddamn Vega was going to be in this bitch and all of that. You know what I mean? But if they had actually put that in there, then maybe you would have a legit reason for people to upgrade. You know what I'm saying? If you actually put that shit in there. But if they had done that, then it literally would have been a next-gen console. There's no way. You know what I mean? It literally would have been a next-gen console. What's your pen name? What the fuck is a pen name, man? Explain. Oh, PSN. I was about to say. It's Agent 6 OBJ. I gotta check sometimes because it's like I'm Agent 6 OBJ on PSN and Agent 9 OBJ on Xbox Live. Matter of fact, I need to cancel it. I need to cancel the Xbox Live or whatever, because I ain't gonna be on there no time soon. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to real quick before I get out of here. There are be very wary of some of these YouTubers around here, Xbox fanboys. I mean, they act like they ain't Xbox fanboys, but I can spot these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Some of them are going by this list that is out there on the internet where it's telling you all the games that are going to be enhanced, Xbox enhanced on the Xbox One X, okay? It's a long list. It's about 70 to 80 games, matter of fact. And giving them kudos because they are getting a lot of support for these enhanced games. You know what I mean? I think the support rate is way higher than the goddamn Pro when that shit came out. You know what I mean? They getting a lot more people to commit to actually enhance the games. So kudos to them for that. You know what I mean? Now, the thing is, these people who are making these videos are acting like most of these games, they're listing like 40 to 60 of these games saying that they're going to be native 4K. Now, Xbox One X Enhanced does not mean that the games are going to be native 4K. They are pulling shit out of their ass. All the enhanced means, it can mean anything. Dynamic, checkerboard, you know what I mean? Anything over goddamn 1080p. You know what I mean? A higher frame rate. I wish it was a higher frame rate. That's probably most not likely. You know what I mean? But it doesn't necessarily mean that those games are going to be native 4K. Will they be native 4K? Will most of them be native 4K? Who knows? But the list is not telling you whether that game will be native 4K or not. Most of these developers are not telling you whether the game will be native 4K or not. Assassin's Creed developers pretty much came out and said that Assassin's Creed on the PS4 Pro and the goddamn X is pretty much going to be identical out this bitch. Checkerboard rendering. People want to act like they ain't hear that shit. Like they ain't read that shit. But that's what them niggas is saying. You know what I mean? We don't know how it's going to look with Anthem or whatever. We don't know how Star Wars Battlefront 2 is going to look. We don't know. I would always say that the hardware with more power, you would most naturally believe that it would have the better version of the game. But we know that shit ain't always the case. We just don't know. We don't know until we know. And the way Microsoft has been goddamn going back and forth, you know what I mean? They can't stay on track. They say one thing one damn day and then change that shit around the next goddamn day. I don't trust a damn thing coming out their mouth. So what I'm going to do is wait for goddamn Digital Foundry to actually analyze them shits. That's what I'm going to do. Or I'll wait for the developers themselves who are making the games, making the patches, making the enhancements to come out and say what the fuck they're going to do. I'm not just going to read you a goddamn list of 70 games and say all them bitches going to be native 4K. I'm not going to do that. Be wary of these people around here, because you have people who you read off a list like that and say that shit's going to be native 4K. You don't know. Some people might buy the shit off the presumption that those games are going to be goddamn native 4K. If you had read off to me that, say I was uneducated as a consumer up to this point when it came to the X, and you read off a list to me and said, okay, 60 of these games here is going to be 60 FPS. Now, I'm looking for the goddamn frame rate, you know what I mean? Now, I might have went out there and pre-ordered and bought a goddamn Xbox One X, thinking that them 60 games was going to be 60 FPS. You know what I'm saying? You're lying to people. You can't lie to people. You got to get the facts. Who knows? Maybe most of the games will be native 4K. Who knows? You know what I mean? But you got to hear that shit. You got to have facts. You got to wait for the developers to say what the actual enhancements are going to be. Is it going to be native 4K? Is it going to be checkerboard? Is it going to be dynamic? I don't know. You don't know. One of these dudes, I got into it with him in his comment section. I mean, all I asked for was sources. I just said source. Give me a source. You named all these games that was going to be native 4K. Judging by reading this goddamn list, I just asked for goddamn sources. Nigga basically admitted that he pulled the source out his fucking ass. His source was his ass, man. His source was his ass. How the fuck how's your source your ass, man? Your source is your ass. What kind of shit is that? No developers, not a developer. Not even goddamn Microsoft, man. This motherfucker pulled it out his ass, out his rectum, man. So be wary, just be wary of these motherfuckers, man. Be wary of these people, because I don't understand it. You don't need to lie. Like, you don't need to lie, because all you do is just set yourself up. You continuously set yourself up, and then you think that you're being picked on, and you think that you're being oppressed as a fucking Xbox fan when people talk about you because of the ignorant shit that you do. You continue to do the ignorant shit. You would think that you would get tired of doing the ignorant shit and being found wrong. I don't think ain't nobody been more wrong this generation than a goddamn Xbox fanboy. Goddamn Donald Trump got more fucking wins than y'all niggas. Goddamn. I mean, there has been I have never seen it. These motherfuckers take L's like like daily. They take L's daily, man. Daily. And it's like the craziest shit. It'd be like the L's that they take are it's so avoidable. They're so avoidable. You know what I mean? It's just simple. Just shut your damn mouth until you get the facts. That's all you gotta do. Once you get the facts, you can go rub it in a motherfucker's face. Ha, 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 woo, woo. You know what I mean? Once you got the facts, can't nobody divide. You can't argue facts, motherfucker. Project Cars developer came out and said that the game is going to look Project Cars is going to look significantly better than the PS4 Pro version. That's a fact. That's coming out of the developer's mouth. And you can go, you know, ha, 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 yeah. Project Cars, we got the better version. And it's not saying exactly what the fucking version is going to be, but he's saying that it's going to look significantly better. Now, I'm not buying that shit, but that's a win for y'all. You know, that's a fact. But so far, it's just them. We know Forza Motorsport 7 is going to be 4K 60. That's what they say any damn way. It looks beautiful, no doubt about that. And Shadow of War. I know Shadow of War. I think the developers of that came out and said that's going to be 4K, but it's going to be 4K 30 or whatever. You know what I mean? We don't know the resolution that is going to be on the Pro. You know what I mean? We don't know yet. You know what I mean? So those are the only three that you know for sure that these developers have actually confirmed that there are going to be actual differences on one version from the other. Other than that, all these 60 games and 70 games where you trying to say this shit gonna be native 4K, you're full of shit. You're pulling that out of your ass. Okay? Stop misleading your subscribers. You know, stop misleading people who just come in randomly, may tap on your video, you know, to try to learn some information. You know, honestly, learn some goddamn information. You know, you just sitting there just rambling out of your ass. Okay? That makes no sense. What's going on? What's going on? You know? What's going on? Rockstar 19, ZZ. Titanic Blanket. You prefer Project Cars? I mean, you know, I haven't really gave it a shot, man, to tell you the truth. I haven't really gave it a shot. But isn't that another sim? You know what I mean? And I told y'all the Sims, like, I'm still debating on whether I'm going to get GT or not, this new GT, because last gen I had my whole racing setup. I had about a damn $700 to $800 racing setup, you know, and this damn generation of consoles did not support my goddamn racing setup. So that pissed me off, and I ended up giving it to my son, and then he ended up selling the motherfucker on eBay and shit, you know, trying to make some damn money. You know, so, you know, I don't have a racing setup no more, so I'm playing with a controller, and when it comes to sim races, I don't have fun with a controller playing sim races. I have fun with arcade on a controller, arcade races. What's going on, Bummy, what's that, Bummy 101? B-Mummy? Man, look, I can't pronounce some of the shit y'all got. I don't know what the fuck. Nico Belly. Ages of Mayhem looks better than Crackdown 3. Yeah, you just may be right on that shit. You just may be right on that shit. Everything looks better than Crackdown. You crazy as shit, man. But yeah, that's pretty much, you know, the gist of what I wanted to put out there. I will be building a PC. I've been watching a lot of videos on actually building one, and it definitely doesn't seem doesn't seem hard to do. I actually have been on my Alienware. I've played a few games on there, and you know, everybody's talking about, you know, it's so acting like it's so damn hard to play a game on the PC. I don't know how it used to be, but it's not like that no more. I got a adapter. Where's my damn adapter? This adapter right here, Xbox adapter. I plugged that into my USB, you know, of my Alienware laptop, and my fucking controller works. You know what I'm saying? The controller, my Xbox controller works. I take the HDMI plug it into my goddamn Alienware, put the HDMI into my TV, and off and away. Load up Steam. It's a wrap. You know what I mean? It's not. You know what I mean? It's not difficult. You know what I mean? It's a lot more mainstream, streamlined than of a process than y'all think. You know what I mean? Crazy lights and water cooled on the PC build. Shit. Oh, water cooled, yeah. It ain't gonna be that type where they got them pipes and shit in there. I don't know nothing about doing that. But the water cool, yeah, I'm doing, I'm gonna try to, get some RGB shit going on up in there, and yeah, it's gonna definitely be water cooled or whatever, but yeah, I'm definitely building me a goddamn PC because I want to take matters into my own hands, play at the frame rate I want to fucking play at. You know what I mean? Um, you know, I'll always need a PS4 for those exclusives, no doubt about that shit. You know what I mean? But I definitely, now I tell you the one thing that I'm concerned about now. This is the one thing I'm concerned about is the multiplayer aspect on PC now, because I don't know about that keyboard and mouse shit, nigga. I don't know about that. You know what I mean? I don't know about the keyboard and mouse shit. I don't know if I can get good at that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you can I use my controller on there, but I don't think I can use no damn controller against no people using keyboard and mouse. You know what I mean? So, as far as the multiplayer wise, playing multiplayer games on there, I don't know if I'm gonna be doing all that shit. But I'll definitely be playing all my third party story games on there. You know what I mean? Sea of Thieves. Sea of Microsoft thieving your money. Y'all crazy as shit, man. I don't even want to talk about Sea of Thieves. When does State of Decay come out? Does that come out this year or is that next year? That's about the only game with, well, that and Cuphead, that and Cuphead, that's about Sea of Thieves. I'll be checking that out, but there's nothing over there that I'm really dying to fucking play. Oh, Sea of Thieves is next year? Alright, well, at least they got some shit coming out next year, you know what I mean? State of Decay and Xbox. Hey, yo, y'all are live up in this motherfucker tonight. Y'all look crazy as shit, man. And I don't even know what the hell I'm still doing up right now. New Ori looks good. Yes, the new Ori does look good. Matter of fact, that's the last game that I was playing on my Xbox. I do need to get back to that. I played a few boards of that. The Ori is definitely, yeah, it's a good game. And yeah, that new one, the new one, actually the new one was a very graphically intense game as well at that E3 showing. I will say that Ori did look good. That Ori did look real good. You know what I mean? You said For Honor is having a free weekend this week. I might check that out. I might check out For Honor. Lawbreakers, yeah, I got Lawbreakers also, and I hope that in the future there are more more developers do things like this where they have like a middle ground between an indie and a goddamn a AAA game. You know what I mean? AAA game like Hellblade and like a Lawbreakers where you got $30 for both of them. I mean, cause you got Lawbreakers and Hellblade together. That was $60 damn. That was the price of one game. You know what I mean? So I hope a lot more of them do something like that. You know what I mean? What do you think Sony will do this November when the X comes out? Pro with the pack-in game. Yeah, I think the packed-in game, I think the packed-in game is going to be Horizon Zero Dawn, just like they did Uncharted. Bundled up Uncharted up with it last year. I think it's going to be Horizon Zero Dawn. And that's probably going to fly off the shelves. Also, they have, you can't forget the Destiny bundle. They're going to have the Destiny bundle, that white bundle or whatever. They'll probably have a Call of Duty bundle. Now, actual themed consoles is what I'm wondering what they'll do. Will they? I don't think they'll make more than one themed console, unfortunately. And I think that theme console will either be the Call of Duty or Battlefront 2. I think the theme console would either be Call of Duty or Battlefront 2. But they'll probably have like several bundles. You know, you'll get a PS4 with the game. You know what I mean? Or a PS4 Pro with the game. They'll probably have several bundles going on. You know, because they got marketing rights for all them bitches. They bought that shit up. They bought that shit up like Monopoly. You know what I mean? They damn sure took Microsoft's playbook this goddamn generation. They gave no fucks. You know, they say, and I'm gonna do you one better. PS4 pretty much got the exclusive games lined up on lock for the rest of the year and this year. Yeah, well, I mean, I did not. What's coming out? You know, they stay away from the holidays. They usually keep their games away from the holidays. You got GT Sport left to come out, and then they let the multiplats do the work in the holiday season. You know what I mean? And then, of course, next year you'll be coming off the bat with Spider-Man, God of War, you know, Days Gone and shit like that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, they. Now, you know what though? I hope they spread these games out a little bit next year. I know that sounds strange and you don't want them the whole game, but I hope they spread these motherfuckers out, because the way they released all the motherfuckers like during January, February, and March, that shit, I'm still playing games from them. I still got games to play from goddamn January, February, March, man. Like, releasing all them motherfuckers back to back like that, you know what I mean? I'm behind like shit. You know, I'm still getting the game. I still got to get Gravity Rush too. You know, I still have to finish Neo, Persona 5. You know what I mean? Right now, I currently been on Yakuza 0. Yakuza is fun as shit. I slept on that game for a minute. You know what I mean? Yakuza is fun. You say, and it's gonna outsell the Xbox One X. Let's talk about that for a minute. What do y'all think? I hear a lot of discussion on people saying that the month of November, they saying that the Switch will win the month of November, or the PS4, you know what I mean, will win the month of November, even though the X is releasing now. I gotta be honest here. You know what I mean? I think that there are some different surrounding factors here that definitely make you scratch your head and think. You know what I mean? I definitely it's not a usual, you know, new hardware release. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of factors surrounding this shit. Okay, but if you put a gun to my head and tell me I have to choose, I'm always going to go with the new hardware, you know, to win, you know, the month. I mean, I always go with the new hardware, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if the Switch won, you know, or the PS4 won, with all the bundles and shit they'll have, and probably be, you know, dropping in price also. So I wouldn't be surprised. But if you put a gun to my head or you ask me to put my mortgage on the shit, I gotta go with the new hardware to win. I mean, that's just, I gotta go with the new hardware to win. And then you got, you know, you got a lot of motherfucking crazy fanboys out there who, they've been waiting for this shit. Because if anybody really needed an upgrade, it wasn't necessarily PS4. We didn't ask for the Pro. Nobody asked for the Pro. You know what I mean? But they had been, you know, asking for a better goddamn Xbox ever since they released that bitch. You know what I mean? So you know they ready to go get that motherfucker now. It's going to be an initial influx of people, you know what I'm saying, Xbox fans who go out there and get the goddamn console. So, I mean, if you put a gun to my head, I'm going to say the new hardware is going to win the month. Now, like I said, I won't be surprised if it didn't, though. But if I had to pick, I'm always going to go with new hardware. I'm always going to go with new hardware. Regardless of the situation, I'm going to go with new hardware. Sony says the PS4 has peaked. Yeah, true, true. OBJ, help me out here. They aren't guaranteeing every game will be better. Who isn't guaranteeing every game will be better? They're saying it could be the devs work extra hours to achieve it, right? I mean, it could be. I don't know, man. The thing is, you're at the... you're pretty much... You're relying on they're basically trying to sell the console off of third party. You know what I mean? When you don't have your own exclusives to actually show the power, other than you had, you know, your Forza 7, everybody isn't into racing games and shit. You know what I mean? Your exclusive, your first party studios are the ones who's really going to take advantage of the hardware. You know what I mean? They have the most... They have the hands-on time. They have the tools. They have everything they need, and they only have to are required to focus on one console. You know what I mean? That's it. They don't have to worry about that. It's not like, you know, third-party developers where they have to worry about putting it on the PS4 and the goddamn Xbox One and PC and all of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, a first-party developer only has to worry about that one goddamn console. So their games tend to bring out the best of the goddamn hardware. They squeeze all the juice out of the goddamn hardware. You know what I'm saying? So the first-party games are always going to look better than the third-party game. You don't never want to rely on third-party. You don't want to rely on third-party to push your system. You don't really want to do that. You know what I mean? Because it, you know, I don't give a shit. Like, everybody, people get mad when I say Horizon Zero Dawn graphically shits on the goddamn Witcher 3. I don't care how much of a fanboy of Witcher 3 you is. Horizon Zero Dawn shits on the goddamn graphics. That's what it does. On the console. Now on the PC, no, that's a different goddamn story. But on the console, even though Witcher 3 looks very fucking gorgeous, you know what I mean? Ain't shit fucking with Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn is the best looking fucking game on a goddamn console today. Period. Period. There is no question. Even goddamn Neil Druckmann from goddamn Naughty Dog had to bow down at that motherfucker. He was like, this is the new bar. Horizon Zero Dawn, there's no goddamn... No, there's no need to even argue that shit. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, your first party developers are always going to take the necessary, they're always going to squeeze the juice out of the goddamn console. And their games will always look better than the third party. You know, third party devs, you know what I mean? I don't see too many third party games that look better than most of these exclusives. You know what I'm saying? I don't see that. Not graphically, no. You know what I mean? He said, good Lord, imagine Horizon Zero Dawn on PC running at 60 FPS. Hey, look, let me find out when I build this damn PC. Y'all gonna be pissed off. I'm gonna be one of those begging for the goddamn exclusives to come over and shit. I ain't gonna be one of them, man. Don't worry about that. But if Sony ever put their goddamn exclusives on that damn PC natively, nigga, I ain't buying no more damn PS4s. Fuck that shit. You can kill that shit. It's a wrap. Well, if I can play Uncharted at 60 frames, nigga, shit, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, man. I'm done. I'm done. If I can play Uncharted at 60 frames, Horizon Zero Dawn at 60 frames, I'm done. You know, I got to go. You know, shit, it is what it is. But Sony, they being smart. The most they gonna do, after a year or two, they'll put them motherfuckers on PlayStation now. Niggas ain't playing that shit. You know, they ain't playing no PlayStation now. So, you know, they are smart. They want to sell their goddamn consoles. So they are keeping their exclusives tight to the vest. You know, to make sure if you want to play their games, your ass gonna have to buy a goddamn PS4. You know, That's the business now. I don't think Microsoft really cares about selling consoles anymore. It's obvious to me. I don't think they do. I mean, that's not the way it seems. Now, I don't know why all these goddamn fanboys, Microsoft fanboys, all of a sudden, I mean, they just want this goddamn Xbox One X to take off like it's a like it's a console of 2013 or some shit. Like, you know, like I don't know. They acting like this shit is a new generation or some shit, man. They want they just swear up and down the Xbox One X is going to sell to the point where it's going to bring them niggas back or some shit. Like it's going to bring Microsoft back into, you know, the space to be able to compete with goddamn Sony sales wise. I don't understand how you come to that conclusion. I don't understand that. What gives you that conclusion? Even Phil Spencer said, even though they, you know, they hyped the shit up and they were sucking on microchips and shit, you know what I mean? Even though they hyped the shit up, Phil Spencer still said he knows that the Xbox One S is going to be, you know, that'll sell more than the goddamn X. You know what I mean? The X is $500. I mean, after that initial boost in November when that motherfucker drops and all the fanboys go out there and they go out there and run out there and politely take a finger up their ass with that $500 and get the damn console. You know, you may have November, December, you know, sell well or whatever. Everybody get their little shit who wanted it, you know what I mean? Who was willing to go out there and spend $500, they get it. You know what I mean? And then after that, the shit gonna go back to normal. Yeah, that's all that's gonna happen, man. It is what it is. Xbox One X is gonna sell as much as people think. Yeah, exactly. I mean, trust me, I'm not trying to downplay the shit. I don't, you know, I don't want the shit to fail. I'm not saying that. I don't. I'm just saying I don't see it. Like, if you follow trends, if you know how this goddamn generation has been going, and you know what probably makes them believe that shit. This is the shit here. What makes them believe that shit? I know it now. I got it now. What makes them believe that shit is because they actually are stupid enough to believe that it was power that sold the PS4 when it first dropped. That's the problem. That's why they believe that the Xbox One X is going to make a goddamn comeback, because they actually, you know, believe that shit. Like, they believe that the PS4 just sold because of power, you know. But they're not saying anything about the fact that the bitch was $100 cheaper. Microsoft tried to pull that DRM bullshit. They was talking about goddamn TV for an hour. TV. Xbox. Turn on. Xbox. Go get me a goddamn bubble bath. Xbox. Come over here, rub my feet. Xbox. Eat a dick. You know what I mean? They was talking about all that bullshit. You know what I mean? The goddamn PS4 came out, the motherfucker mic dropped. He said $399. $399. It was $100 cheaper. And then eventually after that, you found out that it was more powerful. So then you had a double whammy. It was like, it's more cheaper, it's $100 cheaper, and it's more powerful. Not during the conference. Like, nobody even talked about the goddamn power. Nobody even gave a fuck about the power. Nobody knew about the power at E3 or whatever. We just knew that that bitch was $100 cheaper. It was a wrap. 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 To your everyday casual, yo, once they see that, $399, $499. It's a wrap, man. And once that momentum starts rolling, and like I said, Microsoft tried to pull that DRM shit and all that crazy shit, you know, that didn't help them. That did not help them. You know what I mean? Once that $399 hit and they seen that $499, you already knew what the majority of motherfuckers was going to pick. And then, like I said, PlayStation, the brand is, you know what I mean? The brand is already legit, you know what I mean? They worldwide, shit. They're worldwide, you know what I mean? PlayStation is a worldwide brand. You can't deny that shit, you know what I mean? So you got a certain sector who just gonna buy a PlayStation regardless. These niggas just gonna buy the shit. They gonna buy a goddamn PlayStation. You know what I mean? It don't matter. Then you had the other people who were perhaps on 360 last gen. A lot of people came over from the goddamn 360 because that bitch was what? $400? And the Xbox One was $500. On top of that, they later on found out that the Xbox One was less powerful. And also the Xbox One was trying to keep them niggas from goddamn having to use games and shit. You know what I mean? So it was that was a whole bunch of factors that led to the way this generation began, man. It was a whole bunch of factors. You can't just sit there and simply say because of the goddamn power. You know what I mean? But the only reason the PS4 sold was because of the power. PS4 has franchises. They have beloved studios. You know, people already know what to expect with the goddamn PlayStation 4. I told you, any generation, I will buy a goddamn PlayStation because it has the exclusive that I prefer. It has the studios who make the exclusives that I prefer. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for that to happen with Microsoft. You know what I'm saying? Where they invest into a studio and they make some goddamn new IPs that get me involved in that franchise, and I have a love for the goddamn franchise. You know what I mean? And I can prefer that. You know what I mean? But I will buy a goddamn PlayStation regardless of it having launching with many, you know, exclusive games off the bat, because I already know what the fuck is coming. I know they're gonna fucking make the games, you know what I mean? I can't say that shit about Xbox, you know what I'm saying? I can't say that shit about Xbox. You know what I mean? You said now Sony absorbed Microsoft's devs. Y'all wild as shit. Anyway, you know, that's enough of me rambling on, man. I'm about to get up out of here. What damn time is it? I did not mean to goddamn be here. This was supposed to be a damn short video. Anyway, you know, thank y'all for coming by, taking a look at my headset. I'm gonna have some fun with this goddamn headset. You know what I mean? See how this shit goes. And I'll probably do a follow-up video at some point. And your short videos can't exist in the same... you and short videos can't exist in the same universe. Y'all crazy as shit. Thanks a lot, Ryan Landers. Thanks a lot for that. You know what I mean? Anyway, y'all stay out of trouble. You know what I mean? And until next... if you like the content I provide, please like, comment, and subscribe, folks. You know what I mean? Stay out of trouble. You know? Don't let these goddamn fanboys drive your ass nuts. You know what I mean? I got to learn how to turn and look away some goddamn times. Because, you know, I be chilling. You know what I mean? And you know how shit just pop up in your YouTube feed and you know not to click on this shit. You know not to click on it. You know not to click on it. But you end up clicking on the shit anyway. And then it's some damn dumbass fanboy spewing some dumb shit. You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh shit, why did I have to hear this shit? You know what I mean? It's like going to a Digital Foundry video and then looking in the comments. Never go to a Digital Foundry video and look in the comments. I learned that shit the hard way. Them niggas is crazy. They crazy down there. They crazy. Anyway though, folks. What up, Fresh Gamers? Fresh Gamers. My boy Sincere from the Fresh Gaming channel. The man has very good content. Y'all check him out. Check him out. I'm gonna try to get his link and put it in my description. But yeah, he has very good content. Very good content. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm trying to goddamn I mean to play me some damn Hellblade tonight, but I don't know. I might be going to fuck the bed. That's what I might be doing. I don't know. I might have to start that shit up tomorrow. You know what I mean? And really see how these damn headphones sound. But I might go for it. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, if you like the content I provide, please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, folks, OBJ the Don, signing off.